All right. Good evening, everybody. Welcome again to our Living at UHart series here at the University of Hartford. Thank you for joining us this evening, taking the time out of your day to chat with us and to learn a little bit more about the residence hall options from our wonderful Res Life staff, as well as some current students here at the university. So with a couple of housekeeping items, I just want to point out before I hand over to Max. We're going to have everybody utilize the Q&A section at the bottom to let us know any questions you folks have throughout the presentation. And I also want to bring your attention to a couple of additional events that we're hosting. One of which being our dining event, next week. So we will be able to answer some additional dining questions at that event. But again, ask any questions you folks have in the Q&A at the bottom. There's plenty of staff here to help out, and this event's for you. So with no further ado, Max, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Thank you, Nate. Hello, everyone. As Nate said, my name is, should have clicked the slide button. My name is Max Koskoff. I'm the Assistant Director of Residential Life. I have the privilege of being with you here this evening in Eastern Standard Time. I use he, him, his pronouns, and I am super excited. Like I said, I have a great group of students and two wonderful staff members here with me to answer questions on the back channel, whether you ask in the chat or after we're done, if you have questions. But we're going to kind of go through, we're going to do some introductions, and we're going to try and get through a lot of information in about an hour. So we'll start. Nope. So here's who we have on the call this evening. So I'm going to have them introduce themselves as from kind of starting with Christina. So Christina, can you start us off, please?
Hello, everyone. My name is Christina Hilliard, and I am the Resident Director of the A, B, and C neighborhoods here at the University of Hartford, or at least A, B, and C for the next academic year. I have worked at the university for 2 years, and I'm from Ohio. And I've always worked in first-year areas in my 2 years here, and I'm thankful to be at UHart.
Hi, everyone. My name is Mallory Smith. I am the resident director here for Hawk Hall and F neighborhood. Hawk Hall is our residential learning community building on campus. So if you have questions about that, I'd be happy to answer them. I am from Western Massachusetts, and this is my first semester at UHart, and I absolutely love it. So please enjoy the night and take advantage of asking any questions to our great RAs that we have here. And my pronouns are she, her, hers.
All right, hello. My name is Sheree Baltimore. I am a first-year resident.
Sheree, can you speak a little louder?
Ooh. Okay. Is this better?
A little louder, smidge more. Right. Sorry.
Is this better?
Yep.
All right. So, hello. My name is Sheree Baltimore. I am a first-year RA on campus. I'm an RA in the freshman neighborhood, A and B complexes. Next semester, it will be A, B, and C neighborhoods. I'm in audio engineering and major in technology with a honors concentration, and I'm from Washington, D.C.
Hey everybody, my name is Callista Hobbs. I am a sophomore respiratory therapy pre-med major. I'm currently working in E neighborhood. Next year, I'm gonna be in Hawk Hall with the STEM residential learning community. I'm from Central Mass, and I'm having a great time here at UHart.
Hi, my name is Russell Johnson. I am a junior psychology major here at the University of Hartford. I'm an RA in D neighborhood currently, and I'm from Long Island, New York.
All right, and hi, my name is Gretchen Dodge. I use she, her pronouns. I am a sophomore music education major with a vocal emphasis. I'm currently a residential assistant in the A neighborhoods, but work with A and B.
Well, thank you everybody for those wonderful introductions. Again, like I said, we have a great group of students and staff here tonight who bring a lot of diversity as well as wide range of experiences. So students, please ask not only about housing, even though I know that's what we're here to focus on, but these 4 students have a wide array of majors, experiences, interests on campus, social activities. I mean, Russell is also an athlete here, which I don't even think he mentioned. So he can talk about being what it's like to be an athlete here. This is a great group of students who can answer a lot of questions about a wide array of topics. Christina and Mallory, Jill, who is the director, is also here answering questions and she's really going through them, not even giving me a chance to even type. And so we really can answer a lot of questions and get through that. So please continue to ask and we'll try and get through everybody. But let's continue on. So Hawk Hall. Hawk Hall is our residential building for residential learning communities. It has, next year, it will have 4 residential learning communities, which we'll get into in 1 minute. It has both super singles and double rooms. Each floor has 3 lounges. Those lounges include a study lounge, a common lounge, as well as just like a reading lounge. There is laundry on every single floor, and there is shared bathrooms on every floor, designated by gender. Each bedroom in Hawk Hall includes a twin XL mattress and bed. All of our beds on campus are twin XLs. A desk chair, a 3-drawer dresser, and a closet. In order to get into Hawk Hall, you have to submit an additional essay as part of your housing application about why you want to be in that particular residential learning community. And the priority deadline for Hawk Hall is May 4th. And so one of the most frequent questions we get in the residential life email is, what makes a good RLC essay? And I honestly, the only way I can kind of answer that question is to say, tell me about why you are passionate about why you want to live in Hawk Hall. Tell me why you want to be passionate about this residential learning community. What are you going to be bringing to that residential learning community that may be different than the other students who are submitting an essay around that similar experience? The RAs, nor Mallory, nor myself, nor the director reads the essays. The essays are read by the faculty associates who will be leading that residential learning community. So those are the people who will be creating this cohort of students who are going to be living in that community. So other aspects of Hawk Hall. So reasons why people should live in Hawk Hall, or reasons people will thrive in Hawk Hall. So the Hawk Hall is designed to build more intimate relationships with faculty and staff, and to create cohorts with your peers around a particular interest. And what I also talk, and what I really try and tell people when they talk to me or when they ask questions about Hawk Hall, is Hawk Hall is really good for people who like to be, who are extroverts in the best way possible, and who don't mind them running into 50 people in one night, because that's the type of building Hawk Hall is. It's a single corridor, and you're gonna kind of just go from one place to another, and then that's what you're gonna have. And our RLCs for next year are STEMC, which stands for Science, Technology, Engineering, and Math Community. Our learning outcomes for that are designing projects and perform hands-on experiments, learn about real-world applications around STEM. Obviously, the honors community is another one where you will develop skills to build and cultivate relationships with older students and professionals in your field, i.e. honors students who have already been through the honors program. Wellness, engage in university wellness initiatives, support and encourage one another, and improve overall well-being. That is true every year, but especially after the year that everyone has had. And exploring all areas of wellness, such as physical, emotional, social, intellectual, environmental, financial, and spiritual. Everyone thinks that wellness just has to be about physical and mental wellness and emotional wellness, but there's so many other values of wellness that people need to touch upon. And that's a great place to kind of talk about if you're going to provide a different type of wellness. And then social justice and activism. This is one where we've never had before, and we are really excited to welcome it to the university community. So students who are passionate about social issues and civic engagement. So we're hoping that students can get active and advocate for issues around that you're passionate and where you can care about and where you can make a difference. Part of the Hawk Hall experience is that you have seminars and classes either weekly or bi-weekly around your topic. Some meet more frequently than others, but they are built into your core class schedule. And then again, the May 4th is the priority deadline. Doesn't mean that spots don't open up over the course of the summer, or it doesn't mean that things don't happen over the summer, but if the best time to apply is prior to May 4th. We go to our next slide. So these are just kind of a few photos of what it looks like inside Hawk Hall. As you can see, the top left is one of those lounges, and then that bottom right is that single corridor kind of walkway. So now we move to our A and C neighborhoods. These are, if you do not apply for Hawk Hall, everybody who doesn't apply, you don't have to apply to be in a through C neighborhood. It's just where you will be living. So these are traditional style residence halls. So these are 4 smaller buildings make up a neighborhood. So the simplest one that comes to mind is Andrews, Barlow, Crandall, Olmsted make up the A neighborhood. The floors are a shared bathroom designated by gender, and then the 8 to 20 students per floor is kind of how it encapsulates. There are super singles as well as double rooms, and then as you can see in this, those big front windows, those are where our lounges are per floor. There are laundry facilities in every single neighborhood in our newly renovated basements. And then each room again includes twin XL, bed, mattress, desk chair, and a closet. And then drawers are available in each room, and they are either built into the closet or they are in a separate dresser. And again, these students here have either lived in the neighborhood, some of them live in the neighborhoods right now. Actually, I think all of them live in the neighborhoods right now that I think about it. But some of them have actually lived in Hawk Hall prior, so they can answer questions about what it's like living in both of them because they've lived in both of them. These are pictures of our renovated basement. So we recently, 2 years ago, right before the pandemic happened, we renovated our A through D neighborhood basements, and to great success. And then the pandemic happened, sadly. We put a lot of investment into redoing them to making them more spontaneous and communal. So we redid our laundry rooms, we redid our lounges, we made an gaming space. We put in pool tables, foosball tables, study rooms, flat screen TVs. We just made them more fun. And I actually think that's where Gretchen is sitting in a study room right now, would be my guess, based upon the back wall. Yeah, it's creepy that I know those things, but I just, again, understand the layouts of that building.
Hey, Max.
Yeah.
We're getting a lot of questions about what a super single means.
Oh, absolutely. So a super single, thank you, Mallory. So a super single means it's the size of a double, but it's only built, we are only putting one person in it. So again, built for two, only putting one person in it. That is what a super single means. So I hope that clarifies. So instead of it having two people in it, we would only put in one. So it's getting twice the space. So our last neighborhood that we have for our first year students is our F neighborhood. F neighborhood is a little bit different than our A through C neighborhoods because it is, again, a traditional style neighborhood. It is made up of 4 smaller buildings. It, again, has this time, though, 6 through 20 students per floor. But these buildings, I should say, can also be, since the restrooms aren't single gendered, they can be designated by non-gender because the genders are lockable, the bathrooms are lockable, and they're only single-use bathrooms. So we have a lot more flexibility with what to do in these buildings. So they offer a lot more support and ways to support our students. So there are 4 single-use restrooms per floor in our F neighborhood, which is great. So also an F neighborhood is single, again, a single that is a single room. It is built as a single. A super single, it's a double only built for one person. And then doubles. Again, shared laundry in the basement. And then each room does, again, include those twin XL bed, mattress, desk chair, closets, drawers, things of that nature. So this is obviously a decorated room, but again, one of the nice things about our neighborhood rooms and any of our rooms is that you can decorate it however you wish to. I've seen students bring in surround sound. I've seen students do this. I've seen students make it feel very home-like. I've seen students bring welcome to my room mats. Whatever makes you feel at home is what we want you to do. This is your new place of living. This is your new home. So For returning students, as we understand, there may be some transfer students on this chat here on this call, and we don't want to leave you out. We have a few options. We have New Hawk Experience, which is a new pilot program we're launching this year for students who were either remote or students who may not have been able to make as many connections as they have wished their first year. And that is an opportunity for them to really, I don't want to say have a restart with their residential life experience, but almost have a restart with their residential life experience, in which we can really work on intentionally recreating some of those traditional first year residential life components, but in a more structured sophomore way. And it truly is going to be a sophomore living experience. We have obviously an honors community for our upper class returning students. We're starting our special interest housing. We have substance-free housing for both first year and returning students. We have kosher and Shabbat observant apartments. We have suites, we have apartments. What you're looking at right now is a village apartment, as well as we have standalone singles, super singles, and doubles. So the application process and how you apply for housing. So you go to hartford.edu/self-serve. On there, you go to the student tab, you go to residential life, and then you just follow the steps. First year or transfer student housing application, and then you click submit. You kind of have to follow the entirety of the application. So again, if you want to do the Hawk Call, there's going to be a portion of the application you have to complete. If you have no interest in Hawk Call, you just completely skip that section. And then the priority deadline for all applications is June 15th. For roommates, because we always get this question too. After you complete your application, you can request roommates. You can search your roommate's name. So if Russell and I went to the same high school and we knew we wanted to be roommates, we can search within the housing portal, and we could I would search Russell Johnson and he would search me, and we can mutually request one another. And then we would be matched up as roommates. And that's kind of how that works. If you both mutually request one another, we will honor that as best as we can. Where it really gets tricky is when it gets to Hawk Call. Transfer students, if you are a transfer student, we're going to house you with other transfer students, as we recognize you are transferring in, as well as other transfer students are transferring in, and we want to build a community and camaraderie amongst students who are alike. And then obviously New Hawk students, New Hawk experience students will be creating a community as well. So, types of events and activities we put on here in residential life specifically, because obviously the university does a ton of events, athletics does events, Hart School does events. We have events going on every single weekend on this campus, but residential life does events by themselves. And I have an RHA does bingo by itself. We do movie nights, but RAs, we do activities, events, and programs. We do meetings with residents. We have RHA, like I mentioned. We do video games. We do game nights. So I guess this is one of my questions first to my staff of RAs. What type of events have you done for your residents this year? What was your most successful event? So if I want to start with, I guess, Callisto, I mean, you just did a movie this past weekend, didn't you?
Yeah, this past Friday night, we did a movie night that was really focused on this building in E neighborhood. So there's the 4 different buildings. And my building partner and I recognized that our building really needed some extra community building. So the 2 of us organized with the help of a couple other RAs on our staff. We had a movie night where we had a giant inflatable projector that we set up. We served cotton candy, we served popcorn, and we got a pretty good turnout because we kind of based it around the schedule of our students. So that was something that was really great to see. A lot of people turned out for that.
Awesome. Gretchen, you raised your hand. So what were you gonna?
Sure. So I was gonna talk about, so while individual buildings can do programs or individual RAs, we also like to come together and put on bigger programs that can reach not only the freshmen, but transfer students, upperclassmen. It's a really great way to invite your friends out and go do something together. We've also been able to do these larger events while following COVID safe protocols, making sure people are wearing masks, keeping everything sanitized, distance, which has been a challenge, but one that I think most of the RAs, if not all of us, have been up to the task for. The program that we just did that we're pretty proud about as a staff was called March in a Day. And we picked like 8 different holidays in the month of March, and we set up different tables. We had raffles. We had a guess the most number of digits in pi, and you win a prize. We had a room diffuser that you could win. We had door prizes, all these random things that are so much fun. We had a great turnout. We had balloon hats. We had a bubble gun going off, and there were bubbles everywhere. We enjoyed it. The residents who we talked to really enjoyed it. It's something that we're really looking forward to hopefully doing again. I hope. I would love to do it again. But yeah, so we do building events, but also we come together for the big ones, and it's pretty fun.
Thank you. Russell, what type of events have you been doing this year for your residents?
Well, yeah, just to piggyback off of what Gretchen was talking about, definitely we've had some pretty good events here. At least we're at D neighborhood and DNC. Our staff wide, one of the things that we did was we had a March Madness kind of event where we had different little things going on. We had a ping pong tournament, there was a trivia game, different competitive things that got at least the athletes that are currently living in D neighborhood excited and involved and engaged. So yeah, that's one of the things that we did. We've had staff wise where we did more how should I say things with how should I put this? Let me think. It was more geared towards self-love and self-care. So we had our program basically revolving around self-care and different things that give people joy or bring you happiness or put a smile on your face. We had glitter jars, we had little arts and crafts stations that we had made. So basically anything to get your mind kind of like off of school because it can be stressful. So definitely it was a nice time for everyone to like chill out and decompress and unwind.
Awesome. Ray, want to talk about any events that you're proud of this year that you've done?
Sure, I can talk about a program that I did for my building. This semester, I realized that a lot of my residents really liked playing games with each other, like getting to know each other. Because at the time, this was like I want to say around September, October when we first got on campus, so we couldn't do a lot of in-person programs. So I did a game night. There's this game that called Jackbox where you can have like up to 10,000 people play at a time. So I just sent out the link for each of my residents to come in. We played for a little bit, talked with each other, got to know a little bit more about each other through the games and before the games. And it was really fun. It was just something simple to do virtual, just so everyone could still be involved and still have fun while staying in their dorm rooms and being safe.
Thank you. I think one other question I have on sticking on this whole event aspect is how, as as a student leader, or as we have prospective students kind of listening here, how did you choose to get involved in your first year as a student? Like, what was that deciding factor? And if you can talk to us a little bit about that. Gretchen, go for it.
Cool. So I did not want to get involved my first year. I didn't want to do anything. I sat in my room and I was going to be a great model student as a music educator, and that was about it. Luckily, my program forces you to join programs. I had to join a professional development organization, and that kind of started me off really quickly. And then my floor mates got me involved in a lot of things. The people I met in my major got me involved in a lot of things. Someone who I grew really close to in my major said, "Hey, you want to join the university pep band?" Started going to pep band. I had people who were like, "Hey, acapella is kind of cool. Do you want to come to auditions?" I dragged my non-musical friend to acapella auditions my first year, and she sat cheering me on because she knew if she didn't come with me, I wasn't going to go. Had a great time. And that's kind of what I personally have been inspired, trying to share with my residents. And I'm like, if you need someone to hype you up for an audition, if you just are like, I don't know if I should do this club, I'm like, I will sit here and cheer you on until I see that application submitted. You got this. You find people on your floor who will drag you to things. You find classmates who will drag you to things. But don't be afraid of dragging your friends and your classmates to things. If you're really passionate about something, the club or organization probably exists. It could be as simple as just, email your RA when you get on campus and be like, "Hey, I don't know what's available. Can you help me out?" And we've got lots of teams on campus that are around to help you find those clubs and organizations and start finding ways to get involved.
Thank you. And one thing I just also want to point out is one of the first things we do intentionally with our residents, I think it's I almost say day 1.5 because it's almost like the middle of the second day that they're actually here, is we do floor meetings with all of our residents. So that is something that we do, that we have for all of our first year students and our returning students, where the RAs and the resident directors kind of lead and do floor meetings. Russell, I think you were kind of going next, or at least it looked like you were going next.
Yeah, with regards to floor meetings, or
no, with regards to like what's a piece of advice you have for incoming students on getting involved?
Honestly, just finding things, just walk around campus if you get the chance. It's a really beautiful campus and there's always things going on. So if you get a chance, like when it's a nice day or whatever, just walk around. You'll find different events going on. You'll find different groups and organizations doing whatever it is that they're putting on, whatever events that they're hosting, or if they're just walking around kind of thing. That's one way that I saw like getting involved kind of thing, just taking a nice little walk. But for me, I came in actually as a recruit for the track team, and I had decided like I was just going to do track in school and that was it. I was kind of on that kind of track mind. And then I went out and I think we had all the clubs and orgs had their, there's a big club and org day where all the clubs and organizations on campus get to have a chance to talk about their organization and what it is that they do on campus. And one of the organizations that caught my attention was the NAACP on campus, which I'm also the chapter president for it at the University of Hartford. At the time, I was like, I'm not going to join. School and track is more than enough for me. But when I found out, like with college and everything, you do find yourself with a lot of free time. And with that free time, you can use that to do things that you enjoy. I was a member of the NAACP back home, so it was nice to see that we had a chapter here at the University of Hartford for me to be able to join together and be a part of. So I actually have a lot of friends that I was able to connect with and actually reach through the NAACP here on campus. So that's my story.
Thank you. Callista, advice on getting involved?
So my biggest advice in getting involved is to just put yourself out there. When I came onto campus, one of the first things that I did was go to the club fair, and I put my name down for way more clubs and organizations than I knew I would ever be able to participate in. Because realistically, you put your name down for all of them, you start getting emails, and you find out which ones you're actually interested in and which ones are really not as great of a fit. And so I probably put my name down in a dozen different organizations to be put on their email list. And then I found out which ones I actually wanted to participate in. And so freshman year, I spent a lot of time working with Dramatis Personae, which is like a drama club on campus. I've been involved with Spectrum, which is a club for LGBTQ individuals on campus. I have been involved with Hillel, which is for Jewish students. Pre-med club, respiratory therapy club. There's lots of different ways to get involved. And that extends beyond just clubs and organizations, because you can also get involved in terms of work. There's a lot of work study opportunities, a lot of ways to kind of make some money while you're here too. So there's just a lot of variety, a lot of choices. And if you want to be part of an organization, I can almost guarantee you'll find something that you're interested in. But if you know you want to be in a particular type of club, but you don't see that it exists, you can make it. You can start new clubs and you can start new organizations to fit your interests. So put yourself out there, see what's around, and then kind of go from there.
Right. Last one, I think. Yeah. Well,
Advice that I can think of is kind of step out of your comfort zone a little bit. I know a lot of people, like I was the same way as Gretchen. When I first got on the campus, for the first couple of months, I didn't really want to go out and make friends. I was kind of adjusting to my environment. Like I went to a high school with 270 people who all knew each other. So it was like I wasn't used to being in an environment where it was like 5,000 people on campus. Everyone is everywhere. I came in and I didn't really know anybody. But once I talked to my RAs and I got to know a little bit more about the events on campus and people around campus, I started to make friends and I started to get involved in a lot of different things. I also had a lot of free time. So I got a job on campus. I started working at Commons for a little bit, which is our cafeteria on campus. And then I started working for our music library, Allen Library. And after that, I realized that I wanted to work as a customer service representative for the Office of Residential Life. So while joining different clubs on campus, you can also, like Calista said, have a job on campus. And if you don't find a club on campus that you like, you can always start your own, but always take yourself out of your comfort zone, try something new, learn something new, because you'll never know who you might meet from it and what you might gain from it.
thank you. All right, so Mallory and Christina, I mean, from a professional lens, what is one piece of advice you have for an incoming student who wants to get involved?
I think that I would advise to get to know your RAs and build a connection with them, because they have been here a bit longer than you will be as a first-year student. And they have great resources for you to get involved with clubs and activities and what's going on campus each night and during the week. So I would definitely build a relationship with your RAs, because they are very widely utilized, and they bring a lot to your community. And they also can provide any programming. Like they can ask you, what are your interests in programs? What do you want to see? Do you want cotton candy tonight, or do you want something else? And they really do flex their programming around what their residents are interested in. So I would say get to know your RAs for sure.
For me, I would also say not only using your RAs, but also get to know the campus and walk around the student union to see what offices are there, as they provide programming for all different activity types and whatnot. So you start to build your connection early in college rather than later on.
Thank you both. All right. So obviously, safety is huge. We are on a college campus. I literally just saw a question pop up about shuttle stops. So there are shuttle stops on campus. There is a shuttle stop at HPAC. We have blue lights in front of every single residence hall in all of our parking lots. We're adding blue lights. I think we added 5 over winter break alone in some of our parking lots. We added cameras over winter break in some of our exterior builds, on our exterior buildings and in our interior buildings. So safety is obviously a priority on this campus. In regards to how safety affects our residential community, you need a university ID to get into your residence hall. You also have a key to get into your residence hall. We have a professional staff member, Christina, Mallory. I have 3 other counterparts to them who are on duty 24/7, 365 days a year. And we are always on call. Resident assistants, like the 4 we have here, are on duty every night and weekends, 24 hours a day, in case something happens. So that we can respond. We have public safety on call and can basically get to anywhere on campus within a minute, if not quicker. And we also have LiveSafe, which is an app that can really connect students to public safety in real time from anywhere in the world, actually. So we even have students who use it when they're abroad who say, I have this concern, and they go onto their LiveSafe app and it will work because they're on a Wi-Fi network. And it's a really cool feature. And it just, again, allows us to kind of support our students in a different way. So I guess my next question for my RAs is, and this is a really weird question, so we're gonna kind of go with the flow here. If you had to explain to an incoming resident what your job is, what is your job? What do you do? Where do we want to start on that one? Ray, go for it.
As an RA, honestly, we are a big support for our communities. We are there to get to know like the needs of our communities, the needs of our residents within our communities, and be able to support them in any way necessary, whether that be a resource for knowledge, like knowing the events on campus, knowing clubs on campus, knowing like different places to go on campus, like if you needed, if you wanted to apply for more scholarships, knowing like what office to go to, which is our Office of Financial Aid, and just being like a resource for our residents. And we're also like a helping hand and support if our resident is going through something. I tell my residents, and all our RAs are open to their residents, you can always come and talk to us. We're open. We're students just like you are. So a lot of the times we may have been going through the same thing that you were and be able to relate and give you that helping hand and help support you through your endeavors. So yeah.
Thank you. Gretchen?
I mean, I'll put it simply, and I hope that someone finds the humor in this. You're the bug killer when you've had a long day and there's a stink bug hiding outside your room and you need someone to take care of it. You're the shoulder to cry on when you do not understand what happened with your test, but something went wrong and you failed it, and now you have no idea what to do. We're damage control. It can be like I said, it could be the bug outside your room. It could be, hey, I literally don't know what's going to happen with my class. We're here to support you in so many ways. I have personally loved getting to know my residents. They make me laugh on a daily basis. The things that they say, they love to show me when they found a new bug, usually because they want me to get rid of it. But we're here to support you to make your education as valuable as possible, to help your experience. And if that means just helping you with the small thing, great. If it means that we can provide you with resources to help with scholarships, with tutoring, with, hey, I just need to talk through, I've had someone who was like, hey, you might not understand engineering. Can I explain this to you? Because this will help me make it make sense for me. I'm like, sure, I've got a few minutes, do the whole thing. Something as simple as that, that's why we're here. We're here to support you and to help your time here at UHart so much better.
Russell?
Yeah, and actually just to piggyback off of that, like kind of how I think about it now, since this has been like my second year as an RA, we're kind of like almost like the big brother, big sister of our buildings. We have all the resources, like Sheree had said, like Gretchen had said, we can put you on to different clubs and organizations on campus. We can host programs. We can introduce you to whomever, wherever, whenever kind of thing. Also, like they were saying, we are like that shoulder to cry on. We come in and check in on you. We want to make sure that you are doing well, mentally, emotionally, physically. We want to make sure that you are able to be your best self so that you could succeed. That's all we want here at the university. So honestly, we are here to help facilitate that. That's all.
Callista?
I mean, everything that my fellow RAs have said is true. I like to joke that I'm kind of the building mom, where I've had people come to me because they don't know how to use the laundry machine. And so I can show them this is how you use a washing machine so you don't set it on fire. Please don't put your pillows in the wash. That's a big one. Sometimes we're there and it's just helping residents through a tough time. Like I've had students, a bunch of my residents got their COVID vaccines this week. And so they're feeling like trash. And so it's checking in. It's like, are you guys drinking enough water? Are you taking care of yourselves? Are you doing what you need to do? And on the other side of that, a major priority for RAs is making sure our residents are safe, which sometimes means we have to be a buzzkill. But safety is a major priority. We want to make sure that the residents of our buildings are safe. They are getting the resources they need. And so if this means we're having to shut down parties, sometimes we are the buzzkill, but we really do have everyone's best interests in heart. And it's not because we want to be mean and we want to be the police and, you can't have no fun. It's that we really want to make sure that everyone is living in a safe and healthy environment. So that's another big part of the job.
Thank you all. Okay. So different ways to contact us. And I think the three, I think, offices who you probably still have questions, or who can support you through your questions at this time. Res Life, obviously, which is just reslife@hartford.edu. As Sheree said, she's a CSR. She works Friday nights, 4:30 to 8. You email then, that's who's going to respond to you. It's great. Sure, she also works other hours. I just don't know them. Russell's also a CSR. Works, I think, Thursday nights and Friday mornings, I think. So most likely he'll respond at those times. So we will respond to you. And it's really, honestly, there is no bad question or stupid question. You have all of these different thoughts running through your mind. Tonight, you may have a question at 2 a.m. There's simply just email reslife@hartford.edu. That's completely fine. Tomorrow morning, we'll get it when we get into the office around 8:30 and someone will get back to you. And that's just the way it's going to be. And we're going to do that all summer long. There is no stupid question. Another great resource is the admissions office, admission@hartford.edu, and then obviously financial aid, which is finaid@hartford.edu. So with all of that said, I'm going to stop my share. Going to come back to just the general panel view. Hi, And just open it up for other questions. And I guess try and figure out what things I may have missed out there that may not have been answered in the world. Oh, thank you. My birthday actually was like 2 weeks ago, and my staff bought them for me. I just haven't actually taken them down because I don't want to discourage them. But thank you. So now, like, I'm gonna get yelled at. Questions that I see. If you apply and you do not get into Hawk Call, can you reapply? So if you do not get into Hawk Call, you can actually apply for, I believe, 2 RLCs. You can prioritize. You can apply for 1 and 2. Jill, I believe I'm right in saying this because I don't think we got rid of both of them. So you can apply for 2, and you can prioritize 1 and 2, and you may not get into your first, you may get into your second. And then even if you don't get into your 1 or 2, so you may not get into your first, you may get into your second, that would be fine. And if you get into your second, you just get into your second. If you don't get into either, you can, if someone does get into your, if you don't get into either, and then a spot opens up, we can then just potentially over the summer move you in, with the exception of the ones that have the academic classes associated with them, which would be the honors as well as the other one, which I believe is the social justice and leadership, or social justice and activism. So there is, over the summer, you could still potentially move into it. If you and your roommate both apply to Hawk Call and one doesn't get in, what should we do? That's a great question. That's the one that is the tricky one where I said circumstances sometimes get a little weird and it can become tricky. So at that point, you're gonna have to make a decision. So Hawk Call is done by floor. There are 4 floors. Each floor has its own theme. So even if you and your roommate both get into Hawk Call, but you don't get into the same RLC, unfortunately, you two cannot live together. And so you would then have to make a decision of, do you want to either take Hawk Call, or do you want to stay roommates and not live in Hawk Call and live in the neighborhoods? And believe me, you're not going to be the only one who has to make that decision. We usually have a lot of people having to choose that or make that choice. But that is a decision that only you and your potential roommate can make. I typed that I would answer one. I hit one that I would answer live. How much time per week for an RLC meeting? It's roughly between an hour and an hour and a half for the actual meeting itself per week, depending upon the RLC. Callista, when you were in Hawk your first year, you were in STEM, right?
I was in global engagement.
You were in global engagement. I was way off. What was that a week? About an hour?
Yeah, it was about an hour or so.
Yeah. So again, it all depends upon which one. I believe it also depends upon what the associate has planned, because again, it's the associate is the one who makes the syllabus, and they make it like it would be a normal class. trying to go through here. As we are kind of wrapping up and almost hitting the 8 o'clock, and I want to be respectful of people's time, I want to kind of go through and just last words of wisdom from my panel, my gracious panel. So let's start with Callista. Last things, what is your favorite aspect about being a University of Hartford student?
I think my favorite thing about being a UHart student is honestly the community that exists here. That was one of my favorite things that I noticed when I was even just visiting the campus. There's a really great community. People are really kind, really outgoing, and it was really the people that sold me on the fact that UHart was the place for me. So that's kind of my major best thing about UHart is definitely the people.
Gretchen?
Sorry, Max, would you mind repeating the question? I was answering a question in the chat and did not hear you.
What is your favorite thing about being a UHart student?
Perfect. My favorite thing about being a UHart student is the sense of community, not only within my own buildings and my staff that I work with, within my major as well. I found a huge sense of community at the Hart School, so I saw a lot of Hart School people here tonight. I look forward to meeting you as well as everyone else, but I have a special place in my heart for my Hart School people. That was wonderful to see. I really felt so welcomed and encouraged that every day this is the right place for me. This is where I'm supposed to be. Yeah, and it's really nice to be able to look around and see a friendly face wherever I go.
Russell?
Yeah, I definitely have to agree with what's been said. I think the sense of community here is something special. You're going to find people that you connect with as soon as you get here, without a doubt. But another thing that I'd like to point out too is the resources that we have out on this campus that are at no extra cost. Like for example, CAPS. People don't really talk about CAPS as often. CAPS is our that's our psychological services help that we have on campus for all students. It's no extra cost or anything. You can go in and talk whenever something is not right, or if you don't feel yourself, or you're getting real stressed about everything that you have going on in your life. Feel free to use them as a resource. Things like that. The resources that we have on campus here definitely at no extra cost are something special.
Right?
Everyone say community. That was mine, so I'm gonna say something else. I'll definitely say the diversity of all the programs and the people on campus. Like there's a little bit of everything for everyone, and I learned more about myself while also learning more about the communities around me and different things that I believe in and different things that I didn't necessarily know about. I was able to educate myself by learning more about the different communities and things around me. So you'll find a lot of different things that you can relate to or find new things that you never even knew about while being on campus. So I love that the diversity.
All right. So Christina and Mallory, what is your favorite thing about the University of Hartford and working with its students?
We have awesome students. I've only been here for a semester and I feel super at home here. Our students are just, you can't beat them. And besides community, I do have to be honest, the food here is so good. I've been to a few institutions for undergrad, graduate school, and the food here is awesome. And our baker is like, she's been in competition. She is the best baker ever. You can use your dining dollars to buy cakes and cupcakes, and the dining staff, they're amazing. So I will tell you that you will not have a problem finding food here. It's really good.
Christina? You're muted, Christina, if you're talking.
Darn.
Still
Okay.
muted. There you go.
The student population for me and the diversity amongst the student population here at the University of Hartford is something that I enjoy. I'm able to help students who look like me, but also don't look like me, and who come from all over the world. And that's just a really rewarding experience while being here. In addition, the just local environment around Hartford, the location of Hartford is just so close to so many different places across Connecticut. And just being able to talk with students about how they're adjusting in their college career and what types of things they like to do when they're away from campus is a lot of fun too.
Thank you. I will say my favorite thing about the University of Hartford and its students is their passion for change and their passion for making the world a better place and their community a better place. And I use Russell as an example. And Russell, I forgot who you interviewed this year as our Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Day speaker. What was his name?
I had the honor of co-moderating a conversation with Dr. Yusef Salam of the Exonerated Five from the Central Park Five.
And I don't think you would have been given that opportunity somewhere else necessarily. And just being able to do something like that, I think students here are given opportunities and they seek them, and they are change agents here. And that is, I think, my favorite thing about the University of Hartford. Nate, I think I ended on a high note, and I turn it back over to you.
That's a heck of a show for me to follow up here, guys. So first off, thank you to Max and all the staff from Res Life, including the student RAs. It was great to hear a lot of firsthand experience and firsthand knowledge and information about not only being a UHart student, but all the resources and things at the fingertips of our students as they come in. So thank you all for being here and helping us out. Thank you to everybody who tuned in for being a part of this great event. We do have a variety of other events coming up, as I prefaced at the beginning of tonight's event, with our next one being our Living at UHart series dining event next Tuesday at 7 p.m. So if you're not yet registered, please feel free to hop in. I know we had some hard-hitting questions about food and dining and French toast sticks, so feel free to jump in on that event and learn a little bit more about what we have to offer. We also, I'll throw a little shameless plug in. Somebody asked about campus tours. We are offering campus tours still, folks. So if you have not gotten to campus, please come visit. We offer them Monday through Friday at various times with occasional Saturdays as well. So take a look at our website, take a look at our events coming up, and just come see us. Come meet us in person. It's a lot more fun than staring at a computer screen for a few extra hours. So thank you all again to everybody who joined us, and I hope you have a wonderful evening.